So this year I voted for Joe Biden.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Elizabeth Warren.
Bernie Sanders.
I'm Bernie Sanders.
I voted for Joe Biden.
I voted for Bernie Sanders.
Elizabeth Warren.
As voting on Super Tuesday drew to a close, Democrats are now one step closer to selecting a nominee. With 14 states, 1 territory, and Democrats abroad casting their votes, 34% of delegates are up for grabs. Last week, Bernie Sanders was the clear frontrunner, but Joe Biden's success in South Carolina, coupled with dramatic late endorsements from Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, and Pete Buttigieg, gave him a solid dose of what people are calling Joe-mentum, with some voters breaking for Biden on their way to the polls.
I waited to vote today instead of early voting just because I wanted to find out what happened in South Carolina.
And early wins Tuesday showed Joe Biden sweeping the South with stunning victories in Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Arkansas. He even eked out a win in the Midwestern state of Minnesota. And in the Northeast, he picked up Elizabeth Warren's state of Massachusetts, confirming his Joe-mentum was real, with record turnout in Virginia in particular surpassing the vote there in 2008.
And we're told, well, when he got to Super Tuesday, it'd be over. Well, it may be over for the other guy.
As expected, Bernie Sanders easily picked up his home state of Vermont, along with Colorado and Utah. And the biggest prize of the night, the delegate-rich Golden State, where voters waited in long lines well after polls closed to cast their ballots.
Tonight, I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination.
Meanwhile, Michael Bloomberg secured his first win of the primary season in American Samoa, the birthplace of competitor Tulsi Gabbard. But without wins anywhere else on the map, his campaign plans to announce a decision on Wednesday regarding his status in the race. And Elizabeth Warren, who lost Massachusetts to Joe Biden, signaled to supporters gathered in Detroit she would continue on in the race beyond Tuesday.
This is our moment to choose hope over fear. This is our moment to choose courage over cynicism.
Each candidate has to receive above 15% of the vote in each state to accrue delegates, which means they will be divvying up the winnings throughout the night and coming days, especially in California, where absentee ballots have only to be postmarked by March 3rd. The final count could take weeks. And as Super Tuesday drew to a close just before midnight on the West Coast, the delegate-rich Lone Star State was finally called for Joe Biden. Maine was still considered a dead heat.